Good morning from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. It's 9:38 a.m. on the 9th of December 2023. Haven't had a lot of sleep, as you can see. This not sleeping thing's getting to be a bit of a, I can't really say it's a problem since I'm functioning so well, but it was prophesied by my former elderly psychiatrist that I used to see when I was in my 40s, who told me, late 30s, early 40s, who told me that there would come a time in my life when I would only need 3 to 4 hours sleep. And I said, how on earth will I function? He says, oh, you'll just function. Back in those days, in my late 30s, I slept 16 to 20 hours a day under the effects of the very, very heavy psych meds, which did nothing to heal my complex PTSD, by the way. But it was just a device to keep me, I suppose, safe and so mollycoddled and wrapped up in cotton wool, mentally and physically, that I could barely function then. So I want to talk about my night last night. I had a beautiful, magical, wild, glorious night. I've had a few lovely nights in the Brooklyn Standard, but last night was I can't even put it into words. It was intense, but it was lovely, just lovely. I've been, as you can see in my videos in previous days, I've been doing some deep processing and lots of old stuff coming to the fore, and I've been wondering if I'm on my right path, and I've been investing in someone that I actually had serious fears and doubts came up in the last few days. I don't even know where those fears and doubts came from, actually. I wonder if they were actually someone else's that I was picking up on and kind of mulling over. Because this person has come into my life in a very extraordinary, unusual way. And as I said in my previous video, it's been a bit unusual. There's been no dating, and but lots of attention, lots of communication, which has been wonderful. That's my love language. Communicate with me or fuck off, because I've been treated with callow coldness in the past, so that was a big plus. So I think this man is quite heartfelt, and his intentions are, reasonably honourable, but it hasn't quite got off the ground because he got sick, and he's probably deep thinking after my weird videos in recent days, which were kind of putting it out there, what I want from life. And I guess it's a little bit too intense, and I get it. So the multiverse, in her characteristic fashion, because she's delightful, she's a delightful relationship with me, concurrent with me starting this new friendship, hoping that it would be a romantic love affair. Maybe I got that wrong. Maybe I misinterpreted things, as I often do, because I'm so used to abuse that I don't always recognise when people are actually being genuine and authentic. It's something I'm still having to work on actually, because it's been going on for decades, so it's very hard to pass out if I'm being played. And my first knee-jerk reaction is always, trust no one, stay ahead of the game. If the game gets too fucking weird, the only way to win a game is not to play. So withdraw, withhold, let things fall into its natural pattern, right? The truth is always revealed, by the way, always. Sometimes long afterwards, decades after, like my nephew telling me about my father-in-law's intentions, insisting that my house, they weren't my houses really, living on someone's charity even back then as a young woman and wife and mother. But that the houses were paid for to ensure my safety and the safety of my children. That was the only thing my father-in-law could guarantee, that we had a roof over our head. He must have envisaged way early in the piece that safety would be chipped away at and withdrawn from me. And it didn't take very long for that to occur actually. Anyway, so I went out yesterday feeling very wrung out most of the day. I was utterly exhausted. As you saw, I started to decompensate even in my second video yesterday. I actually had to go and have a lie down, and I did kind of rest. Didn't really sleep much, but I did get a bit of a rest. So then my beautiful friend Lynn messaged me, as she often does, because she acts as though she's my mother. We did have a contract together that we would nurture and mother each other, since both our mothers are dead, and we didn't have, Lynn's mother died when she was a very young woman, so we didn't have nurturance and mothering. Well, I didn't have it even in my childhood from my mother really, but Lynn at least had that much. But we have this connection where we made a vow to each other that we would ensure that we would always watch over each other and in the mothering fashion, which to be fair can be a bit smothering at times. I love you, Lynn, but sometimes you're a bit smothering. And because of my trauma issues, the other thing that I will act out about or get the heebie-jeebies over is when people smother me too much. So it's a fine line I ride, how much interactions I have with other humans, even ones that I love deeply and are deeply close to. So anyway, in the afternoon, she was trying to ring me, but I was in the middle of my video. So she messaged me, and then I got back to her, and she said, she always, every Friday night I go out, or every night I go out if I go out on a Saturday, but the last few months it's been mainly just Friday nights. She rings me and she says, stay safe, have a wonderful time, observe your safety rules. What safety rules? The only safety rule I observe is I arrive alone and I go home alone. That's my safety rule. And what happens in between then and there can be complete anarchy and chaos, but so far so good. I've been very well loved and protected in the Brooklyn Standard, more than I've ever been loved and protected in any dance space in my entire life, except maybe way back in the day when I used to dance regularly at Greenbank RSLs. They were very protective and loving towards me also. So anyway, so I kind of bemused about it. I said, yes, Lynn, I'll have a wonderful night. I said, my words to her were, I'm not feeling very well, and I may not even go out if I feel like crap when it gets to, 9:30, when I start putting on my makeup and getting ready to go. If I feel awful, I'll just stay home. So this was about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, so it was still hit and miss. as to whether I was going to go out or not, right? This is what I'm like. I just surf all my emotions. I surf whatever circumstances are going on in life. And unless I'm like literally so ill that I can't drag my carcass about, I just fly in the face of my own fragility and older age and bodily weakness. And with that comes almost an extra layer of almost angelic protection. It's like you're going out, girlfriend, and you're not real well, and life's been weird this week, and you're disappointed, and I get it. So we'll send you extra protection, and you, my darling, are going to have an awesome night. That's not what was said to me, but that's what actually happened, right? So you have to sometimes push yourself a little bit and be intrepid and fight for your right to party. So anyway, by about 9 o'clock-ish, 8:30, I actually felt quite a bit more energised, which was astonishing, given how ill I'd felt during the day. So I thought, right, the spirit wants to dance. My spirit wants to dance. So on went the makeup. I put all my corsets in for dry cleaning yesterday, so I just dressed in I had a nice blue lacy top on and put my silk skirt on, my gorgeous strap-up Roman sandals, and I look quite lovely, which I was a bit worried about actually, because when I dress in more feminine, more mainstream clothing, the men tend to go a bit more wild and get to be a bit more problematic. Whereas when I wear my corset, nobody fucks with the Tanya. So because I didn't have my normal regalia on, I thought, I'm going to have a bit of trouble. But no trouble at all. I had my goddess little sterling silver earrings that are actually fertility goddesses that my friend Carol Perlmutter bought for me in Zimbabwe back in, 1992. She gifted them to me. And so I was wearing those all day yesterday, and I thought, the goddess is with me, and I was feeling happy about that. And I was going to change my earrings into something more sparkly and more for evening wear, and I thought, no, I need that grounding, having my goddess with me. I don't know the name of that particular goddess, but she's an African fertility goddess. Actually, Carol gave them to me tongue-in-cheek and said she knew at that time I was keen to have another baby, actually. She said, you better watch yourself because these are fertility goddesses. I said, honey, the thought's there. I'll take my fertility where I can get it, right? So anyway, so I had those on and I wore my Tree of Life pendant with all the skulls. And so I'm standing in the queue at the Brooklyn Standard. I got a park nearby, which was great too. That's always a bonus. And oh dear, my skin's breaking out because I ate spring rolls the other day in the oil. Dear goddess, when will I learn, right? Anyway, so don't look at the shitty skin. Love me, love my shitty skin. Who would have thought that at 58 and a half years of age I still get pimples? It's ridiculous. Anyway, and I was feeling, I was standing in the queue and I was just very contained within myself, and it was a long wait to get in the club, which is annoying, but it is what it is. And the young security guard at the front said, are you on your own? Oh, yeah. He said, we have to wait for someone to leave. He was winding me up because hardly anyone was leaving and they were letting people in anyway. So I just nodded and rolled my eyes, because what can you do? They're in charge, you know. And then he grinned at me and said, "Oh, you can go in since it's only you." A little bit of a wind-up, but that's okay, you know. Let men play their little games. Mama T just surfs it. Flotsam and jetsam surfing. Like the fucking sinking Titanic, babies. But the staff are very nice to me. So anyway, so I nod triumphantly and march in, go down the stairs, go straight to the bar, and my favourite bartender sees me and nods, and I nod and pours me my drink, and all very lovely. And I wend my way through the crowd, as I do, sinuously, sashaying my way, and assume my new, it's not a defined spot like I used to have at the casino that I used to guard zealously, but I always stay in the same area near the table, because it's handy to be able to put your drink down when you finish your glass, and you know, so it's all very nice. So start dancing, having a lovely time, and Ramjet were playing, so they were very energetic and wild last night. Everybody was so joyous. Didn't I say yesterday in my video that I want to be in a relationship where we both experience great joy? I'm not talking just about sexual pleasures and orgasms and things like that. I just mean in general, like, oh my God, I do look exhausted, don't I? Anyway, just joyfulness and playfulness and sweetness and kindness. So the funny thing that happened is Glenn was there. Glenn is a regular that I knew many, many years ago when I used to dance at Irish Murphy's. And he's kind of had his eye on me a bit. I don't think he's after me sexually or anything. Well, I don't know. See, this is the problem. I never know until they put it on me and I'm like, what the fuck is this? What's going on here? Sometimes I'm a bit oblivious for quite a long time. But I'm conscious he's had his eye on me, and my mind's been occupied with this person on the internet, right? So I have the choice between a man in real life that I see regularly and a man that just tunes me up on the internet. It's a weird situation, people, but I don't do internet romances. I said that from the very beginning, so I guess it's going to have to reach its natural course, because I need a real man with real heartfelt intentions that actually takes me out. Doesn't have to cost a lot of money. If you're poor, not everyone has money, you know, like, I get it. Hello. But, you know, just do nice things together. So anyway, so I see this Glenn fellow. I'll close my legs for neighbours out. I'm sitting here all spread out everywhere. My neighbours out in this car. Must behave, must be a lady. Close legs. So anyway, I see this Glenn fellow who's a very nice man, like, you know, he's friends of the guys in the band too, and we did chat briefly last week. Not last week, I didn't go last week, weekend before. So there's kind of a acquaintanceship. I wouldn't say we're friends yet, but kind of an acquaintanceship going there, because, like, you know, most of the time, when all the other superficiality that happens when you're out in the music scene is you can be dancing with people for 10 years, but you never interact with them outside of that dance space. So are they really your friends? You know, I had that a lot over the years. So, and it's another kind of distancing, alienating thing But when you're immersed in that world, in the world of the club, you have this kinship and this connection because you're there every fucking weekend, giving out your energy, dancing as hard as you can, enjoying the music, navigating literally all the entities and souls around you who are also bringing their energy to the table, dancing their dance. And not just that, but often the souls that come with them. Some of them are fucking soul-ridden by something really dark. And some of them are soul-ridden by something really lovely too. Although it depends on if someone's been threatening with me, how lovely I remain. But anyway, look at these good clothes. What's going on, guys? It's an interesting augury. It's a lot of activity, like the vibration around my home and garden is really high. I don't know if it's me that has a high vibration, people have been saying it to me lately, or if there's a shift happening cosmically and on our planet Earth as well. It's intense, people. So anyway, so Glenn spies me from, he was in front of the band, like further away. And I just smiled because, you know, friendly smile, but I'm doing my thing. I do my own thing. I think that's my superpower, actually. People kind of respect it. I do my own thing. I don't get up your right nostril unless you're threatening to me. I don't bother anyone. You know, I choose very carefully who I engage with. I'll get into that a little bit later. Anyway, so Glenn smiles at me, I smile back, I'm dancing, you know, doing my usual dance. And I think he likes me a bit. I'm not sure. You'll have to tell me, people of Earth, because I don't know. I've been stuck in a fairy realm, disassociated from human interaction, especially human male to female sexuality for so long that I actually don't get it. I'm locked off, something missing. But I kind of was astonished because I saw Glenn moving over towards me, right? And I thought he was going to come over and say, hi, how are you? And actually have a chat. No. The cheeky little bugger, when I say little, he's short like me. The cheeky bugger, this was hilarious, people. I let him get away with it too because it was funny what he did. He's holding his glass and he's looking at me like intentionally, so I thought he was coming to talk to me. So I just sort of stopped and paused and looked at him, and then he kind of smirked like this and went past me, and I thought, oh, okay. So I keep dancing thinking, oh well, I don't know what that was about, you know, this is in the brief moments. And then I felt someone bumping their bottom against my bottom, like pressing their bum into me. And I didn't even look around because I knew it was him, right? He had leant forward, pushed his glass on the table, which we all do so the glassies can take the glasses, but he'd positioned himself deliberately in such a way that he would have to bump me in the backside when he bent forward. And so I just for a moment I freaked out because it's not a big deal really. But if anyone else touches me in the bottom, I smack them one, right? But he wasn't doing it, well, he wasn't being sleazy per se. He was just being funny, I think. I think he was just being funny. So I just ignored it, kept fanning, and he goes past, shoots me a look, and I'm just like, kept fanning. He goes back to his position in front of the band and, you know, he's looking around all the women, and I'm like, oh yeah, all right, player. I'm not bothered. I'm not there to pick up any men. So anyway, I'm laughing my ass off internally. So I actually yelled out, you cheeky bugger. But anyway, I don't think he heard me, but I just went, cheeky bugger. But I had to laugh about it because it was kind of funny how he did it. I thought, that man has a sense of humour, and I'm always impressed by a man that has a good sense of humour, that is fun and can be a little bit mischievous. But when they border into this getting really grinding down into really dirty sleaziness, I find it off-putting. So anyway, he hadn't done anything like that yet, but I'll be monitoring that one carefully, because that positioning himself, so he had to press his bum into me, that was flirting, wasn't it, people? That was definitely flirting. So anyway, I let it go. Because, you know, we're acquaintances in the club, and we've known each other. Well, I don't know him really, but we've danced with each other over the years, many years ago, and in a much wilder, more violent, more dangerous pub. And so he knows me well enough from years of observation. He knows I have a hellish, fiery fucking warrior goddess temper, which I contain very, very well most of the time. And he knows I have a great sense of mischief and magic and delight as well. So he knows how far to push it with me, right? But if he pushes it too far, he'll get swatted like the Māori young man a few weeks back. Because I'm not going to be disrespected, especially in my dance space where I go to let off steam, literally let off steam. So anyway, but he's a nice enough fellow, really. So I was watching him and dancing with all the other women. So later in the evening, a few hours later, quite a few hours, probably about 3 hours later, I had to go to the loo. And he's standing there watching me, because there's a big crowd of people between me and the loo, but there was also a crowd between him and I. But he's kind of looking at me because I think he thought I was going to try and approach him, and I just spit like that because I'm wanting to go to the loo. But anyway, I did end up navigating through the crowd, and I did end up approaching him, and I put both my hands on his ass, gave him a bit of a pat on the ass, and I went, returning the compliment, and he laughed and I laughed, and then I wended my way through the crowd to get to the loo. So yeah, he knows I'm onto him, but I appreciated his mischief, you know. So that was cute, very cute. And so and getting to the loo was funny too, because there were literally men so drunk and inept, like fucking gorillas, that I was like, get out of my way, get out of my way. And I'm like, when I need to go, people. I'm an old lady and I got bladder problems. So anyway, I get there and this young girl says to me, I got bladder problems too. My bladder's half its normal size. I said, oh, you must be family. She said, why? I said, my daughter has that problem too. She said, am I your daughter? I went, no, but we've got the same issues, so we must be related. Just made a joke of it. So anyway, I came out, fought my way through the crowd. This time I stayed away from Glenn, because I don't want him to think that I'm interested in him, really. You know, it's just a bit of a wind. You wind me up, I'll wind you up back. You wind me up again, I'll wind you up again. And this can go on for freaking eternity, because I've got time at the moment, while I'm still a single woman, living my best life. The wind-up's going to get more and more intense if you wind me up. Just remember that. I had a very high IQ as a child. I can spin a man on a dime if I wanted to. I just don't believe in playing games with people's emotions and being sadistic and cruel. It's not my bag. The fact that was done to me all my life is evil beyond words and sickening. I'm still sick from it. But, you know, as I said, there are two ways to approach any situation. Smile and go with the flow. Literally close your eyes and think of Aussie till it's over. Almost literally. Especially if it's a horrific event. Or be really, really smart and disengage early on and don't play the game. Because the only way to win a game is not to play. But I missed out on a lot by disengaging and not following things through and not, yeah. But I couldn't have followed things through with the last few lovers because they were toxic and dangerous. They really were. So there was no point in grinding down and working even harder at it and trying to be all earth mother, goddess, woman, the be all and end all to these entities because they were empty. They were running on empty. There was nothing, they had nothing to offer me, not even emotionally. They were just NPC zombies of the worst possible kind. I mean, I'm a zombie too. I revivified myself many, many times, literally from the jaws of death. So that's why whenever Cranberries plays and the bands play Cranberries, you see me go completely mental because it's a metaphor for my life. It's also a metaphor for the revolution that happened in Ireland, but it speaks to me on so many levels, that song, as does the song Hallelujah by, well, Katie Lang sings the best version of it, but it's by Leonard Cohen, wrote the actual words. That is a fuck off song. There's 49 fuck offs in that song alone. My psychiatrist sat there one day. I sent this song to Dave because it's a fuck off to him, and my psychiatrist said, how does it go? So I played it for him, and he counted all the lines that were actually very, very appropriate, disturbingly appropriate to that relationship. Well, it wasn't really a relationship, was it? That connection. And he counted it, and he said, oh my God, Tanya, what made you think of that? I said, it came to me, it's spirits running the show in my life now, not me. They're running, they choose, they actually actively choose who comes into my life. I'm quite convinced of it now, because they're bringing men now who are spiritually attuned to me, who get me, which is such a relief. Can you imagine the relief of finding a partner that actually gets you and understands your path and your walk? Oh my goddess. Anyway, so yes. So I got to return the bottom bump to Glenn in a not as subtle way. He was much more subtle how he went about it. I'm not subtle, darling. If I hit you, you're hit with a ton of bricks. If you fall in love with me, you're gonna feel like, I don't know. I don't know what a man feels when he falls in love with me. I guess I've never witnessed it yet. Let's be real here. I'm confabulating there. Let's be real. Let's not live in fucking Titania's realm too much. So, hopefully the next time a man falls in love with me, he's genuine and authentic and sincere and takes me out, spends quality time with me, appreciates and values and cherishes me like I'm appreciated, valued and cherished at the club. That would be lovely. So just waving to some people that live in my street, going past with their dog. I'm embarrassed because the husband was walking past just as I was saying, hopefully I find someone that appreciates, cherishes me. And I'm thinking, I hope he didn't hear that, because it sounds a bit pathetic, doesn't it? Like, it sounds weak, it sounds vulnerable, it sounds raw, it sounds pathetic. And that's where I'm at this point of time in my life, while I'm waiting for people to decide what they want, what they really want to do with me and what I want to do with them. So anyway, the other lovely thing was I go back to get another drink, and I go up to the bar, and Taylor, the bartender, says to me, "Do you want a shot?" And I'm like, "What?" Because I always order a Jack Daniels and Coke. So I'm trying to figure out why he's asking me if I want a shot for. I could have asked for a tequila shot. I do drink tequila shots. I haven't for many years, but if I'm going to drink shots, it's tequila, or sometimes Patron. That's a form of tequila. I used to drink that eons ago at Irish Murphy's. I had a lovely friend that used to buy me Patron shots. They were expensive. Anyway, I'm like, "I can't hear you, Taylor," because I'm having trouble hearing because of the loud music. "I can't hear you, Taylor." So he leans over the bar and screams at me, "Do you want a shot?" And I was still confused. So I said, "No, Taylor, I want a Jack Daniels and Coke." And he looks at me like this, and there's another guy at the bar waiting, looking at me like this, like I'm an alien, right? So anyway, he pours himself a shot, a very big shot actually. Oh, shh, don't want to get him into trouble. But anyway, he pours himself a shot, pours me a Jack Daniels, and toasts me. So I toast him, he knocks back his shot, I sip on my Jack Daniels, and he hits this lampshade they hit. It must be some tradition in that club that they whack this and it goes flying. And then Taylor just looks at me, and he loves me, that young man. He really does. He's a lovely young man. And so this other man at the bar is like going, "Come to me." And I'm looking at him like, "No, I'm having this thing going with my friend Taylor. Why would I go to you?" So I'm doing this to the other guy, and he's like, oh, I think he was just pissed though. But it was funny. Even Taylor's like, "Man, I got men chasing me all over that club, and it's getting a bit, not alarming, but astonishing, because I'm not used to that level of intensity." So it's delightful, but it's also astonishing. So anyway, what happened after that? So I go back and I see this, and I could see he was a sweet person, very kind person, and wearing a Christmas shirt. Like, I have to roll my eyes at that, but it is Christmas, people. Christmas is coming. So anyway, and I don't know how it happened that I started dancing with him. But I said to him, "Oh, don't mind me." I could tell he was gay, by the way, but I didn't say anything about him being gay, but I just could tell. And I started dancing, and I said, "Oh, don't mind me, I'm a big ham." I said, "So if I put my arm around you and, I make all the motions to the songs, like, don't take it personally, I'm just dancing and emoting to the song, and that's what I kind of do." And I said, "I've already marked that you're a very nice person." I said, "I wouldn't be engaging with you." And he looked at me and he said, "Oh, well, my friends are all over there and they're ignoring me." I said, "Why are they ignoring me?" He said, "Well, I'm their boss, and I work for border security or something, border patrol." I'm like, "Oh, great, government employee. Oh, bejesus. They're the ones that keep out all the refugees, aren't they?" Anyway, this man, he's in the wrong job, I can tell you that for much. I wanted to warn him about that, but it's not my monkey, not my circus. But his staff, he'd taken out all his staff for a staff party, Christmas party, to the Brooklyn Standard, and they were ignoring him. So I couldn't help myself. My inner healer, my shamanic healer came out. Of course, by now I've had a few drinks, so I wasn't pissed, but I was, a bit more spontaneous than normal, I guess. And I said to him, "Why are they ignoring you?" So I pointed to them. I said, "Why are you ignoring him? He's your boss." And they're like, "Fuck you, we're on our own time." And I nodded. I went, "Yeah, I get it. You're on your own time, but you shouldn't freeze him out when he's taking you out for a Christmas party. Like, that's just rude." And they kind of the female staff member actually did talk to him then. I think how they treated him really awfully. I could see it myself with my own eyes. Anyway, so I'm dancing with him for a while, about 10 minutes or so, and he just randomly comes out, because I suppose he's getting pissed too, or he might have already been a bit pissed. He says, "My mother died 2 years ago," and he starts bawling his eyes out in front of me, like just tears running down his face. I don't think the trigger was his mother. The trigger was the staff being awful. I even said to them, just store that away, how badly they treat you when you're out. Don't fucking give them a promotion. And he looked at me. That's my way of saying you're in the wrong job, mate. I didn't want to be too blunt with it, but he's in the wrong job. He's a sensitive, caring, loving, sweet soul who deserves to be treated better than that. I looked at him, I thought, he said, I know why we were drawn together. It's because we both drink Jack Daniels. I smiled. I thought to myself, no, I was drawn to you because you're a kind soul like me, who's sensitive, who's been fucking done over, and you deserve better, my darling. But I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to hit him with everything, right? He'll work it out. He'll go home or he'll sleep on it. He'll work it out. It's in his subconscious. I planted the seed. He deserves better, that young man. Anyway, he said to me, my mum died 2 years ago. And he said, I'm suffering so much. I miss my mum so much. And the tears were streaming, like he was losing. He goes, I'm sorry, I don't want to ruin your night and steal from your joy tonight. I don't mean to put burdens on you. And just that level of empathy, I thought, you are a sweet soul. I said to him, it's all right, darling. I'm a healer with words. This is what I do. I said, it often comes out. I said, sometimes randomly or at times inappropriately, that I will go into healing mode. And I said, I just have to surf it when it happens. I said, what was your mother's name? He said, Michelle. And he's bawling in front of me. I said, you need a hug. He went, oh, okay. So I gave him my fierce mama tea bear embrace. And he stood there and graciously accepted the hug. I said, you mustn't cry. I said, it's hard, I know, and you're going to grieve a long time if you had a loving mother. I said, my mother was a fucking asshole to me, and I grieved a long time too, even over that asshole. He looked at me in shock, I said, sometimes it's worse when it's an asshole because you can't resolve it in your mind, It's like, what can you do? You can't do anything. You can't change the past. You can't change what they put you through. You just have to ride through it, which I have done for many years. So anyway, I looked at him and I said, I want you to know something. I don't think he was into spiritualism or magical practice. I could tell that it hadn't actually occurred to him before. I said, your mother is with you at any time of day or night. She's a millisecond of thought away. I said, she's never far away from you. She will be with you for the rest of your life. I said, all you have to do is think of her, and she is there. And he cried even more. But I think it was relief, I said, don't ever let anyone tell you to get over it. He says, I tell myself I should be over it by now. I said, why should you be over it? You had a loving mother. I said, don't put pressure on yourself. I said, some things you don't get over, you just learn to live with differently. He looked at me. I said, there's no frames on grief. I said, it can last for the rest of your life, but it will change flavour and it will change intensity, and every now and then it's going to smack you again out of the blue, hard. I said, but eventually you don't get over it, but you get through it. He looked at me, He was a nice young man. Matt was his name. Matt. Anyway, so after we had the hug and that little bit of a counselling session, by God, my psychiatrist is right. I should go into social work and do a counselling course, because I do it anyway for free, very often on my nights out. And there's so many broken people now after the COVID epoch. Our whole society is full of broken people. I used to be the broken one of the rare broken ones. Now everyone's fucking broken around me, and I'm having to be strong all the time. And I'm telling you, it's draining. It is draining. But I'm getting better at navigating it. I guess like grief, it'll slap me from time to time. But he was such a lovely young man. He says, "Oh, can I buy you a drink?" I'd actually had 4 drinks, and that's my limit. And but I thought, fuck it, if the young man's going to buy me a drink, I'll accept, because I had a while to go before it was time to drive home. And I knew I'd sit a bit longer because I'd had that extra drink, right? So go back to the bar, Taylor's serving again, but I motioned to him that the young man was paying, because, just to let him know. And so I said 2 Jack Daniels, nods. So young man paid, Matt paid, we go back. And it was weird, like after he bought me the drink, then he went, "I'm going to go and join my friends now." I went, "Oh, okay, thank you for the drink," kissed his cheek, And off he went, happy as Larry. I was like, okay, that was odd. That was a bit odd, but anyway, I enjoyed my drink that he bought me. Because people don't usually buy me drinks as a general rule of thumb. And I don't expect it anyway, but that was very kind of him. That was his thank you for me being his counsellor for a bit there. So anyway, meanwhile, Glenn's watching all of this, watching me interact, probably wondering if I'm going to start hooking up with people. Not that it's any of their business. If I decide to hook up with someone, I'll hook up. But I wasn't hooking up, I was just being kind. And Matt actually said to me, "I'm gay." And I went, "Yeah, I knew that." He went, "What? How did you know that?" I went, "Oh, darling." I said, "I have a way of knowing these things." I said, "I danced with you and hammed up with you because I could see you were a kind person and sweet and caring and not a creep. And I already knew you were gay, so I knew you weren't going to be a problem by the end of the night." He just looked at me in astonishment, how I knew that. And sometimes I have to ask myself how I knew that too, because he wasn't like high camp or anything. He looked like just an ordinary bloke out on the town. Didn't really give off a very strong gaydar. But I just know. I've been an LGBTIQ ally since early childhood, so I have a sixth sense for when people are gay or sensitive or unusual, different, So find your vibe, find your tribe, right? And so anyway, the night progressed. I got into my zone, which was great. I got into my zone. I was dancing to the song. It's not a song that I normally would mosh to, and by moshing I mean breaking my neck. I took the flower out of my hair and put it on my bag. Off came the glasses. They know it's going to get serious when I take off my glasses, because when I mosh, my glasses go flying, And so I got into it, and I'm flipping my hair everywhere, and it was a perfect beat. What was the song? Can't remember the name of the song now, but it had a perfect 1-2 beat, perfect to mosh at. I won't do it anymore. I won't be able to move my head later. It's a bit tight. But anyway, I look up and I see Mark that I befriended, a month or so ago, 6 weeks ago, with the long blonde hair that got caught on my ring, with his girlfriend. They must have arrived very late in the evening because this was near the end of the night. And he's just standing there watching me mosh. And when I look this way, he's just like... Anyway, I just kept going because I was in my zone and I was enjoying myself. And away I went, and I had the best fucking time moshing away. And that was the only song I kind of moshed at, was at near the end, And Juddy came up in his break and said g'day, which was lovely of him. And I said, if you need help as a volunteer roadie, I'll help you pack up at the end of the night. He said, oh yeah, because you stay the whole night anyway, don't you? And I went, yeah, I stay the 3 hours usually. So if you ever I hear you have back problems. I said, if you ever need help at the end of the night, I'll help you put your equipment in the van. I said, you just tell me what to carry and what to do, because I don't want to damage their equipment, And he said, oh, no, thanks, Tanya, we'll be right, it's okay. And I said, yeah, but I'm just putting the offer out there, I said, because I'm well looked after in this club, and I'm happy to give back by helping you pack up at the end of the night, because I said it is tiring, especially when you work all day as well, So I've just got a reminder, there's a beginner's drawing class on today at 1:30. I was thinking about going to it, but I'm too tired now. This is the thing. I can only stretch myself so far, and then I'm like, I'm tired. I can't possibly do that. I was looking forward to doing that too. Oh well, another time. Anyway, so so he was happy about, that I said I'm happy to help pack up. Actually, I did help move the some of the cases down from where I was sitting, just down closer to them so they could just grab it and go. And I left the club a bit later than I normally do because I'd had the extra drink and I didn't want to be drink driving. So I stayed till about 3, quarter to 3, I think it was 2:45. And I just got the urge, I thought, a switch went off in my brain. Magic is over now, time to go home. So literally it's like that, it'll just shift gears. Time to go home, Tanya, because I've got to be conscious that I can't be too overtired to drive, because it's actually dangerous too. So anyway, so I walked up, I came out of the club and went to walk in the wrong direction because I forgot that I'd parked my car up the top. So I went to walk towards Charlotte Street, where I've been parking the car, and I got halfway down the lane, realised, oh wait a minute, I'm parked up the other end. So to come back, walk past it, and Glenn's just looking at me like this, probably hopeful that I was going to tune him up, but no, I'm not there for hooking up. I'm not. I mean, it could happen one day, but it's not my agenda. And I'm kind of curious and interested to see what happens with this fellow that I've been talking to for the last few months. So probably nothing. Let's be real here, nothing's going to happen. I think it was all just a big fucking wind up, quite frankly. One of my manifestations was that I was going to have a relationship where I had no doubts and fears and insecurities, no jealousy or envies were allowed, no sabotage. Within a space of a few short bloody weeks it already starts to unravel. Never mind, it's been a good learning experience for me on how to navigate my emotions, and I've noticed I'm a lot more sanguine than I used to be, so that's also a good sign. And I'm enjoying the loving and attention and the sweetness. I have enjoyed that, my darling. And it doesn't matter if it goes around and around circles, goes nowhere for a while, because what else is new? All my relationships ended up being like that, just fucking run around. So, but yes, I really, really soaked up the love and affection and even the little bit of mischief from Glenn. You know, I actually really soaked that up because I've been feeling quite unwell this week. I mean, I don't have the COVID, but I've been, you know, immersed in all these dark memories from my early marriage and childhood and adolescence, and it's been a bit fucking grueling, quite frankly. It's been masochistic. And as I said to my love interest, I'm not dragging the past into a new relationship. It's got to be cut off, right? Sliced and diced. That was then. This is now. This is how my life is, what I'm wanting my life to be. Loving, kind, nurturing, reciprocated, cherished, appreciated, respected, held in great affection and honour and integrity. I want to be prioritised, not over someone's children, because that's not fair. You can't expect that. But I want to be looked at, the one, chosen, looked at, prioritised. I wonder if I'm expecting too much from life. Sometimes the bare minimum seems too much, given how little I got from other relationships. So, and I don't want to accept the crumbs from another woman's table, so I don't want a man who's cheating on me and all that malfeasant ugliness that I went through with the last love interest that was a fucking psycho, trawling woman after woman in my face. That was awful. Oh, by the way, didn't show up, so that's good. It was just a random flick from the multiverse to remind me. How do you feel about that? Meh. So that was good, and I'm glad it didn't show up, because honestly, that was another long game that went nowhere. No one won that game at the end of that. No one won that game. I don't even know why he bothered to do that. This fucking dark triad type. He probably sits at home and tosses for hours over all the years of torture he put me through. That's what he got out of it, right? Sick it was. And if I even get a sniff that I've got another one like that on my hands, well, it won't impact on my life, because I've got a rich and full spiritual life, and I have friends in the club that adore me, even though, as I said, that stays in that container. Doesn't bleed out into my home life. They don't come to my home. They don't, there's no interaction outside of that safe container at the club. Just as the same thing I had with the men at the casino. They were not brought into my world, except for the former love interest was brought into my world, but he had no real interest in me there. So it wasn't really a problem, was it? But yes, so I left the club and I went past twice because I had to go back past them. High five Juddy on my way past. Long searching look at Glenn on my way past, but I kept walking because I'm not engaging, I'm not flirting, I'm not tuning them up. I've got no interest in it. You know, if I want a sexual relationship, it has to be with a man who absolutely adores me, and I'm not really seeing that coming to fruition yet. So I was preempting things, getting my hopes up. And it's okay. I'm only human after all. And so I went down to the 7-Eleven to buy a pie actually, and there was Matt staring at the pie shelf too. I said, "Oh Matt, what are you getting?" He went, "I don't know yet." He was a bit freaked out that it was me behind him. I said, "Oh mate, I'm starving. I didn't eat dinner before I went out." He went, "What?" And I went, "Yeah, drinking on an empty stomach is not good." I don't get drunk though. I was a little bit tiddly after my third drink though. It was a little bit, but I was fine. I wasn't drunk. And then I danced and moshed out all the alcohol, so I was fine. And so I got this pastry. It was pepper steak or something flavoured. It was actually tasted quite nice. It was expensive for what it was, but it was nice. So I marched off to my car triumphantly, and sat in the car for a little bit longer because I was still not 100% sure. I'll just wait a bit longer, have a little bit of rest before I drive, and I don't want to be over the limit, and I don't want to be so stonkingly exhausted either. So I just sat, munched on my pie, and then drove home. So that was my wonderful night. Had a lovely time taking myself out dancing, as I have done for 13 years. So I'll come back with another video. This is my post-dancing debrief, but I'm so happy with last night. The energy in the club and the people and my friends in the club and my friends in the band, and look, everyone was just so wonderful to me. Really, really wonderful. And I'm just soaking it up like a dying person dying of thirst in a desert, just hoovering up the love and affection and attention and consideration and respect and admiration. I've never experienced anything like this in many, many years. So it tells me that I'm ready for a new version of my life to begin, and more than ready, a little bit overripe, about to fall off my tree. You have to laugh, people. Falling off my tree. Oh, dear goddess. But anyway, much love from Titania's realm at Sacred Space. I'll be back later or shortly with my readings of even date. But I wanted to let you know how wonderful life is at the moment. And my new friend Simon, that came into my life via the internet 2 weeks after my beautiful beau died. As my friend Lynn said, you know, one beau left your life and another beau arose. It's kind of ironic. So anyway, I'll just carry on being awesome, enjoying my life, and see what pans out. what surprises are still in store for me. And even he said, I think you've got a lot of good things coming in the future, Tanya. And I think he's right. I think you're right, Simon. The good things are starting to manifest now. And it's been hard to wrap my head around it, really. It's come as a bit of a shock, to be honest, because it came out of left field, unexpected. And yes, the multiverses are mischievous with me as ever, as they have always been since when I was put into this incarnation. And there's a lot of playfulness and mischief going on at the moment, and I'm delighting in it. I'm delighting in it. But anyway, it's a beautiful day in the garden. Frangipanis are in flower. Charlie's up the back in the grevillea tree. And I'm still waiting for the lawnmower man to turn up. He has a crisis every summer. I guess it's too hot and it's too much work. So don't know what's going to happen with that. I am stressing about that, but it can go another week, I guess. Something will have to be done soon though, because with the rain, the grass shoots up very quickly. So it is a major stressor for me. I hope he hasn't quit, because he's a very nice man, that man. He's actually decent and does a very good job. So I'd hate to have to start off again with another lawnmower man that might be weird and creepy with me like all the others were. Or not all the others, like way back, Roscoe and his wife used to mow for me too, that I knew from Irish Murphys, and they were lovely too. But honestly, it's such a big lawn, even they struggle to do it, It really needs a ride-on mower, but this man brings a mower and another man to do the whippersnippering, and they do it between them, but it's still a big job, So there's nothing I can do about it, unless housing dug up the whole backyard and turned it all into gardens or something. Then I'd have the problem of keeping up with the weeding. So it's kind of not an easily solved situation. I know how I could solve part of it though, is if I won lotto, I could put a big massive fucking swimming pool in the back. That would get rid of a lot of that lawn, wouldn't it? But I need to win lotto first, and to win lotto you need to buy tickets. So there is that. I do occasionally buy the occasional ticket just on the off chance, but I'm not really a gambler. I hate wasting money on stupidity. So anyway, on that note, my beautiful people, have a wonderful day. Stay free, stay wild, stay happy, and stay delightful. God's bless. Bye for now.